Join me on a trip on the canal boat Antonine as it journeys between the Falkirk Clyde Canal and the Union Canal using the Falkirk Wheel.
Gentlemen, welcome one and all to the Falkirk Wheel. I'm amazed it's 4:10 in the day and I've got 95 folk on a 96-seater boat. That is absolutely awesome at this time of day. That is fantastic. Welcome one and all to Antonine, one of the two trip boats we have on the Falkirk Wheel. And my name is Colin, I'm your skipper for this trip. We're on our way now, ladies and gentlemen, in the reverse direction. Anyway, back to this safety announcement. It is my duty to let you know we have 6 emergency exits on board. You come in through one, there's one opposite and one either side of the boat, as Ross is pointing out at the moment. And then the captain and crew, captain on a canal boat, come on, skipper maybe, but up the grey door. Last but not least, the joker in the pack, this window here. I would recommend under no circumstances use this window as an emergency exit. There are so many tripping hazards that you're liable to fall off the front, and when you do come up you will be wearing that very distinctive new perfume, Canal number 5. Trust me, it's that unique, we do not sell it in the visitor centre, okay? In my favour, we are on a Disney boat, ladies and gentlemen. I don't mean Walt Disney, I mean a Disney sink. Glasgow accents are us, yes.
For the next half an hour or so, we'll be up here, 27 metres above our starting point on the Forth and Clyde Canal. We're now moving at 4 miles an hour over the reinforced concrete aqueduct. There's just over 100 metres between here and the tunnel, dead ahead of us. We'll go right through that and turn around before heading back and taking a look at the view that's right behind you now. You might have noticed that there are 2 tourist boats in service at the Falkirk Wheel, each with slightly strange names. Archimedes and Antonine. First, Archimedes. He was a scholar and mathematician in ancient Greece who discovered something that's very important for the operation of the wheel.
Any floating object displaces its own weight of fluid.
Okay, that might need a bit of explanation. Archimedes' principle says that when an object is placed in water, for example the boat you are sitting in now, it displaces its exact own weight in water. The amount of water that moves out of the way to make room for us is equal in weight to the boat itself. That might sound quite simple, but it's actually really important for the smooth operation of the Falkirk Wheel. Each gondola, that's the big tub of water we just travelled up in, holds 250 tonnes of water. When our boat sailed in, we pushed about 60 tonnes of water. That is the weight of the boat and its fuel and all the people in it, out meaning that the gondola then had 190 tonnes of water and 60 tonnes of boat in it. So the contents of the gondola still weigh 250 tonnes. The clever part is that the other gondola will also weigh exactly 250 tonnes as well. We are evenly balanced with them. And that means that it only takes a tiny bit of energy to get us moving around the central core of the wheel. We're balancing each other out. So while you might think it would take a lot of energy to lift 250 tonnes of steel, water, boat and even you up the 27 metres we just came, it actually took just a small push. About the same amount of energy as boiling 8 electric kettles. There's a Roman castle fort on the hill really quite close by. It was placed there around the year 143 AD as part of a network of military bases built by the Romans to defend the area. These forts were linked by a wall, running right the way across the width of Scotland. The castle forts were built by the military to control people and keep them out of the northern border of what was then the Roman Empire. Now you'll almost certainly be aware of another Roman emperor, best known for his wall in northern England. The wall above you now wasn't built by Hadrian though. It was constructed during the reign of Emperor Antoninus Pius. It's known as the Antonine Wall, and that's the name of our other boat, Antonine. You'll notice two more locks here. These take boats to the main level of the Union Canal, another 7 metres up, making the total height above our starting point 35 metres. This then runs as far as Edinburgh, which, if you were to sail there today, would take about 9 or 10 hours. But most people on a pleasure cruise do it over a couple of days. In fact, these locks were installed as part of the renovations to the canal system and the installation of the Falkirk Wheel. The original Union Canal ended some 2 kilometres further on from here, where the flight of 11 locks carried canal traffic up and down between here and the Forth and Clyde Canal below. But it wasn't possible to reopen the locks joining these two canals. They were filled in and now have blocks of flats built on them. So a new solution was needed, hence the Falkirk Wheel. Not only does it link the two waterways, but it gives us a chance to celebrate Scottish design and ingenuity once again. Okay, as we're coming towards the end of our time on this level, I just have time to share some of the facts and figures of the Falkirk Wheel. It was opened in May 2002 by Her Majesty the Queen, although she never actually rode it like you have today. There are 15,000 bolts in the structure, pressed into 45,000 bolt holes. And each one was tightened by hand. The two gondolas between them hold 1 million litres of water and can lift the weight of 100 elephants. And it does all that in just 5 minutes, using the power of a few electric kettles. Amazing, isn't it? If you were thinking of getting one for yourself, do be aware that the price tag comes at a whopping £20 million. We're heading back into the gondola now, so that we can rotate back down to the lower level, 25 metres below. This is a great place to take in the view if the Scottish weather has been kind to us today. You should be able to make out the Kelpies, Grangemouth and the Cranes at the Firth of Forth, along with the Ochil Hills and various other ranges. Your skipper might point some of these out to you as you descend. As we come to the end of this boat tour, it's impressive to think that the Falkirk Wheel wasn't actually built as a tourist attraction. There was no visitor centre here originally, and boat trips like these didn't take place. But people came to visit the wheel out of their own curiosity. They came from all over the world to wonder at this architectural and engineering gem. So we started running boat trips, and the Falkirk Wheel has gone from strength to strength. And now you've visited too and ridden this unique part of the Scottish landscape.
So what we're waiting for, the locking clamps come in, then they move that big metal plate that you saw up the top across with a P-shaped seal on it, and then they pump the water in between the gap and the doors. Once that happens, they balance the water levels, the doors fold away a bit like opening a hardback book, and once they're settled safely on the bottom of the canal, then we get permission from the wheel operator, Max, today to head back out, and at that point we take you back to the visitor centre. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go up and give Ross a wee hand park this thing, so I hope you've all enjoyed it, and we'll see you when we're disembarking at the other end. Thank you very much.